video or stream, I should say. I figured that I publish a Substack post every Friday, and of course over the week I develop ideas for what I would like to type about for that, and certainly and the inspiration for the idea comes from a multitude of sources, from just like stories from the week that are more like current. I try to stay away from current events oriented events, but also like larger macro themes, or like some of the other like newsletters or Substacks that I read. I certainly think that have helped broaden my scope and intellectual capacity and desire to. That's a bit lofty, but I think that certainly the best thing that anyone can do really is just read as much as they can about anything, and certainly I think that this is a good way for me to crystallize that process, and certainly hopefully the same goes for you if you're watching, and hopefully can definitely check out the Substack, which is linked on the Twitch, and as well as in the description of the video, and certainly it's 100% free to sign up. No desire to figure out monetization and all of that. But real quickly, I'm trying to keep this below 10 minutes, 5 minutes. We'll see how it is. I have a lot of midterms to get to and work, part-time work. But I don't. Oftentimes, as I've been doing with some of the Substacks that I've published, have been trying to come up with like a snazzy name, but that would be a bit ahead of ourselves. But the topic is on for this week. I was having a discussion, argument, or a good back and forth with a friend about like Apple and Epic Games lawsuit, and the implications of that, and certainly others have articulated the point much better than I have. Certainly, Matthew Ball has done a far better job of actually articulating kind of like the larger points. But I certainly feel as though I'd be willing to comment on on a more limited, a more rapid fire scale, just like the immense scale of Apple, and certainly how dependent on a lot of the different things, such as lawsuits or regulatory practices moving forward, how that will have a severe effect on the future of the internet, certainly as a certainly. So the first section, of course, is first part of the Substack is an overview. Of course, I like to come up with a snazzier heading for that section. Apple the Gatekeeper. All right, it's sophisticated. Apple the Gatekeeper intro. Legal battle royale for Fortnite, Epic Games, and then I want to mention about the next section. Generally, I should admit that like the process of brainstorming, at least like the structure, the idea takes some time, and I generally don't have a full inclination of what it is until much deeper into the week. Of course, this is on Monday that I'm crystallizing this, which is certainly a change of pace. But Apple the Gatekeeper, Legal Battle Royale, but the structure of the writing remains constant throughout the process, as it is a pretty simple composition. In terms of structure, it's not very long. It's generally 3 to 5 paragraphs. Certainly. Next one, I want to talk about how so many companies have labeled Apple and then Google and those other distribution platforms have such a strong control, mainly Google, as competitive of risks in their 10Ks. Threes. Part of me is like tempted to uh, uh, like mention like Nelson from Simpsons. Uh, uh, Scream Fire. Yeah, Scream Fire. I think that works as a because that is a potential concern, even existential perhaps. And then conclusion. Conclusions. Yeah, conclusions are pretty simple. Nothing too fancy with a conclusion. Hmm. Honestly, it would be kind of funny if at some point brainstorm ideas for headings with the chat. That'd be funny. Yeah, that'd be funny. That'd be a funny scenario. Humorous crowdsourcing. who needs a machine learning algo when you have that? Conclusion. Uh, yeah, Panama Canal. Yeah, so I think that. Yeah, Panama Canal. Yeah, I think that could build a house. Certainly, the Panama Canal has someone who's in control of it. It was the United States, and now it is on paper, at least superficially, uh, the Panama itself. And the reason I say that is, of course, if like Panama decided to block off shipping, odds are that an outside entity could take action to reopen said canal. But yeah, quite honestly, like there is like that's my thought process for my Substacks, and certainly if you look at the process of this, let's take a look at this one. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4. It's yeah, from 4. Let's look at one of the older ones. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we have a little plus minus for it. But man, that's the process. Let's say the title. Battle. I don't want to use Battle Royale twice, but Apple and Epic Games. Captures larger questions and yeah, normally like my that part is a bit more catchy, but spitballing. And then oh yeah, I should change this name. Talking about the case. Legal talk. Yeah, make a self-aware joke about of course, wonderful disclaimers and whatnot. And then P.S. Yeah, and then generally I do like when I do come up with an idea for a story, I do have like I do have like things that stood out to me and things that I found humorous or like things that I like to mention, but certainly don't fit into necessarily to the narrative. And I know that there was a legal filing where Epic requested because like recently in the legal case, apparently both companies have been like drawing in a lot of outside entities that aren't necessarily involved. And so like for example, like Apple has requested Valve, host of Steam, to provide information about their games, and certainly Epic has done the same with individuals connected to Apple. And certainly it should be noted that that other companies have voluntarily joined, like filed documents in support of Epic, such as Spotify and Facebook, which makes sense, and that's really something that will be addressed why in in this piece itself. But certainly there's a but Apple when Epic requested the name, Apple like did like a pretty snide, of course relatively because of legal terms, but they did take a shot back, which was amusing. It's really something that, excuse me, something that stood out. So I'll definitely have to find a link to the tweet. But yeah, certainly, and I suppose then just certainly as at the certainly if you stuck around long enough, certainly the overall point is commenting on how Epic's lawsuit about Apple essentially taking a cut, like the 30% or 15%, depending on how you fall within Apple's standards, and certainly Epic is like challenging that, which certainly is a serious issue for not only companies like Epic, but even more so for say Spotify, Netflix, or or say companies that will move to subscription models to some degree, such as Twitter. It's going to be a big thing, especially when Apple has competitors, such as Apple has Apple Music, and that's a direct competitor to Spotify, and certainly Apple has incumbency to say like default to Apple Music, and certainly Apple doesn't necessarily have to eat a 30% markup directly or indirectly by passing it on to the consumer in the same way that Spotify does. It's certainly fascinating, and it's certainly the broader sense of certainly like the concept of a single company being a gatekeeper over an entire ecosystem. And so iOS, Apple has positioned itself to be the gatekeeper of millions of devices and therefore individuals. So, well, not completely, of course, but with a pretty significant degree, and certainly that it certainly has implications and tendencies for the future. Not only just as like for the future of companies and their relations with iOS and consumers, but actually that's probably the scope of it that fits with the purpose of this piece. But definitely fascinating things, and I certainly look forward to being able to write about it in here, and certainly, so definitely, and every Friday I write and publish. So certainly look forward to that, and certainly thank you for sticking around, and hope you guys continue to be safe and enjoy.